Welcome to the Free to Ride podcast with Brian Brumwell, Lance Crawford, and Connor Stobart, where average riders have extraordinary conversations. Gear up, subscribe, and join us where you will get exclusive insights, unmatched tech tips, epic race coverage, and plenty of laughs. Because in the world of motorsports, the only limit is your imagination. Don't let adventure start without you. Stay updated on your favorite platform and follow us on all socials. Your journey is just beginning, and we guarantee you'll keep coming back for more stories, wild discussions, and adrenaline-fueled excitement. Average riders, extraordinary conversations. Welcome to the Free to Ride podcast.
All right, welcome to the Free Ride podcast, where we bring average riders to have some extraordinary conversations. I'm your host, Lance Crawford. My co-host, Connor Crawford. Wow! I sounded... I invited you in my family. All right.
Wait a minute, I can't hear you over.
Hello? Can you hear me over the mic?
Oh, now I can. Just, I guess I'm just so close. It sounds like I'm just.
We need a live, because I can't hear. Welcome to the Free Ride podcast, where we host some average riders to have some extraordinary conversations. I'm your host, Lance Crawford. This is my co-host, Connor Stobart. We do have a third co-host. He couldn't be here with us tonight. Unfortunately,
Claims he's sick, but
we'll have to haze him later.
Yep.
What we're doing here, we wanted to have a podcast where we could just have the average guy on, guy or girl, and talk about what's going on in the powersport world. They do with their clubs. Oh, so funny.
he said 6 times
I really?
in that sentence.
Okay. I don't even do it subconsciously. Yeah. You know what we're doing here with this podcast, Connor?
Are we still recording?
I think so.
Oh, we're still recording. All right.
You know what we're doing? You know what we're doing here with this podcast here, Connor?
I do. Yeah.
You know what I'm about to do? Maybe you can do the talking.
You're through the intro.
We're already through the intro. All right. Well, we want to, I'm going to catch myself on these knows. We want to have a talk of conversation with people. I want to have a talk with people. We had a lot of trouble setting up this podcast today. We had technical difficulties, and in the first show, can't get through all the giggling. I feel so quit shaking his leg. The whole camera. So I apologize to our audience if the camera keeps shaking. Connor has a tremor problem in his pants. I can't. No, keep going. Just keep going. I'm getting through all this. So we'll cut stuff out. Is this still live? This is
Heavy editing.
we were gonna bring tech tips to our audience. We want to talk about we want to bring tech tips to the audience. We want to bring average stuff, what you're doing on your sled, what you're doing on your trailers. We want to see if the community is doing things differently. Talk about those, and you got to participate in the conversation. And Sasquatch is in the studio with us here today.
And he is doing a fantastic job with the video recordings and stuff.
After he broke the last soundboard, though.
Yeah, he did break the last soundboard. He got pretty pissed off and just...
So yeah, hit the light.
The lights look tasty. Yeah, we had to swap the lights. That's why I look like a white ghost. So basically, we're just going to go through and introduce ourselves, get to know a little bit about everybody here. I'm getting Sasquatch is pointing at my legs. I'm shaking it again. So we're just going to go through a quick introduction. First episode.
Put on your hands. Put on your hands. Then you'll know if your leg is shaking because you'll feel it.
Right. So basically, let's go through host introduction. So Lance, introduce yourself, a little bit about you, your background. everything.
Yeah, I'm Lance Crawford. I've been in snowmobiling probably for about 6 years now. I never wanted to get into the sport, though. I thought it was silly, seasonal sport. But I did it, and I was absolutely hooked.
The second you hopped on, like,
Yeah, we thought we were going to share, the wife and I, we thought we were going to share a snowmobile. So we did the first time we went out. That's what we did. We rode like an old wedge nose and had a blast, obviously. But on the way home, we decided that we were going to get 2 snowmobiles. They're not meant to be shared like that, especially 2 grown adults blowing out suspension.
Yeah, I think I remember that too. Was you had told me, hey, we're getting snowmobiles now, and it was just random. Knew you guys had went. I was working at the prison, so I didn't get to go. But that was...
It was game over. We got home, and we're just watching tons of snowmobile videos. The old sled neck videos, those are great. And books, X Games, and anything we could find just on the snowmobiles all the time. So, yeah, so after that, just totally hooked into powersports. Now work at Backwoods Powersports in Spirit Lake here and wrench on side-by-side, quads all the time. And it's just the world I want to be in.
All right. And you're also a veteran?
Yep. All right. Served 8 years in the Army National Guard, military police, and then a little bit in the commo unit. Yeah, I can't say I had a great Army experience, but go USA.
And so I'm Connor Stobart. I also served in the Army National Guard for 8 years. First as military police, and then I swapped over to become a gun bunny with the field artillery. I was a cannon crew member on the M109 Paladin and the M777 Howitzer. Again, not a great...
Which one did you like better?
I honestly think I enjoyed the 777 more.
No, what's MOS?
Oh, MOS. Our field artillery. I should have done that at the beginning.
Oh, yeah. Dragged me to the MP Corps and then ditched me.
Ditched you as quick as I could. Yeah. Other than that, I mean, yeah, it's been good. We get, I don't know why I just said that.
When did you first get into power sports?
So power sports was just really not much longer after Lance did.
You had dirt bike as a kid, didn't you?
Oh, I guess I did have dirt bike. Yeah, I remember getting my first 50, Suzuki 50, and that thing was so much fun. We actually have it. And then a few years later, after riding the 50, I had outgrown it, and my sister started riding that. Probably one of the funniest things I saw with her riding that is we're just riding up and down our dirt road, and she turned to turn around. Now this was a dirt road, like a dirt road. You'd drive a semi truck down it, and she went to turn around or just turn.
You're gonna have to put a beep there,
Yeah, I know. Went to turn and hit the gas instead of just turning, and went into the neighbor's yard and just kept going until she hit a tree.
That's what you're known for now.
Well, that's what I'm known for, but she's the one that started it.
Oh.
And then
the reds of the blood. Apparently.
Yeah, moved over to
tree magnets. They are.
Moved over to a Honda 100 that my uncle gave me. I'm pretty sure it was like a early 90s or maybe even an 80s era Honda 100, and rode the hell out of that.
You're gonna have to put another beep there,
You can't say hell.
No, you can't.
Okay, censor me. Don't censor me, bro. And basically rode that. And, didn't really get into snowmobiling until just after Lance did, and he introduced me to it, and started on a old, I don't even remember what it was. It was Powder Shark.
So when we first got into the snowmobiling, we came back and I just found some old ones on Marketplace. I think I paid $150 for my 98 Indy 500, and then I may have gotten just slightly inebriated and promised you a snowmobile. That was the first mistake. So, being a man of my word, I went and found what I could, and I think I paid $100 for it. Like a 1989, there's a 340, Polaris wedge nose 340, had no brakes. No matter what we did, we couldn't get the brakes to work.
Right. I remember
But
trying to go down.
Just ripped through the powder.
Yeah, I did. Like, right. It was basically we called it powder shark.
That's a good snow. Yeah, that's good snow. I threw it in the dumpster at work. Gone.
Yeah, it's bad. You know, you butchered it, took the parts off of it, and basically just threw away the chip.
Could only have so many sleds. Could only have so many sleds.
I think at one point his yard had like at least 10 in various states of disrepair. They were never repaired and running. It was just disrepair.
So once we got into power sports, we decided on a wild hair that we were going to start a power sport apparel company.
It's a wild hair.
I have a tendency to drag Connor into my crazy antics, and so we started a power sport apparel company called High Cascades, where we learned to taught ourselves how to print garments and do graphic design, and started just getting involved with the community. We'd always call, on a Saturday night, we'd have to print an order, and Connor would come over and started out in his childhood bedroom where we first housed the whole setup.
It's like an 8x8 room. It couldn't breathe. It was hot as there was like
we have to beat that again. Yeah, so tell me a little bit about getting High Cascades started. How'd that go for us?
Well, it started out pretty. We started with drop ship and that kind of stuff, and for some reason we decided to get printing equipment, and we started with screen.
I entrusted you to pick the best.
That is right. Yeah. So we were doing research on them, and I found one because
I entrusted him to find the best garment printer that we could, the best options. You were to research it all.
To start out, it was a start out. And let's see. Of course, like the nice ones are $25,000. Didn't have that just sitting around, and so we found a $5,000 one that was supposed to be good. And when we got that, it went from we got it running, but it would just have random issues.
It was a pile of garbage.
We were lucky.
It came from China.
5 shirts and
it came with hacked software.
Yeah, it was hacked software that instantly it was saying it was a virus. The computer was. We did get it to work. We got some prints off of it, but again, it was like we'd get 5 usable prints.
The problem is that we learned a lot over the course of time, and with the printer, the white ink would dry up. It would just sit there, and every time we go to use it, the white ink would be dried up. And so we'd go tons and tons trying to clean the print heads out, and about gave up.
We almost gave up, and then I forgot how we came about it, but we went and got a Brother DTG printer.
I gave you an ultimatum. I said we're either going to be done, or we're going to invest in better equipment. It was at that point. It was no longer just a side hustle hobby. We were trying to go big, and wanted to start the business, and that Chinese printer wasn't going to cut it.
Yeah, it's a.
So we looked into some Brother software or some Brother equipment, and the rest is history. We got that first printer, and it was a game changer.
Yeah, the instantly printing, or basically almost instant prints. Really, it was a minute or two for a print. Yeah, kind of depending. Some of our designs are a little more intense.
Yeah, that's where we decided that we wanted to expand and really take this business seriously. Started reaching out and trying to grow our social media and making friends along the way. It's along the journey this podcast, has come up.
Yeah, and so now we're sitting in front of a camera super awkwardly.
All right, Connor, so we plan on doing some racing with the podcast and our sponsors. Tell us a little bit about that.
So basically, we're going to be doing bringing sled drag back to North Idaho is the ultimate goal. They used to be North Idaho and kind of more of a Southern Idaho thing, and of course the Midwest. And then we also want to bring it to Western Washington as well, because we don't have any of that over in Western Washington. And so we're
kind of planning on having the community get involved.
Yeah, we want to
just bring that competition back, get the local community involved. We're going to start hosting those probably in October.
Yeah, I think we actually have a kind of a celebrity race going on too. We have a
celebrity race. Yes, we do. We have Yeti and Sasquatch. Yeti's coming down from Revelstoke. There was a little bit of trouble at the border, but we'll hear about that later with our reporter, Buck Thunderstone.
You don't think it's a friendly competition? That Sasquatch seems to be pretty competitive. And Sasquatch is, of course, in the studio today. He's been kind of hanging out, waiting for Yeti to get released by Border Patrol. So we'll hear from Buck Thunderstone later, and so he had an exclusive interview with Sasquatch on his sled.
All right, Connor. Now we're from our sponsors. This podcast is proudly sponsored by High Cascade Powersports, Backwoods Powersports, Spirit Lake, Idaho. I think we have a special word from your sponsor too, as well, don't we?
I think we do.
We take a look at those.
I think we should take a look at those.
All right.
Today's coverage proudly brought to you by Yeti's Cold Cut, the only deli meat that's been aged to perfection in a glacier for at least 500 years. Yeti's Cold Cut. It's questionably sourced, debatably edible, and undeniably cold. Available in mammoth salami, Arctic moose bologna, and saber-tooth summer sausage. Use promo code Frostbite10 at checkout for 10% off, or just wait until spring, find some for free.
Is it illegal import?
It might have been illegal imports. I mean, I don't know.
Because I don't think those are all sanctioned. Like, can he bring those in here? They stop you for bananas.
That's true, but
They're not going to stop you.
The problem is there a cutoff period for age of meat? Because obviously, I don't know what an Arctic moose is, and definitely mammoth. Haven't watched.
Oh, so you're saying that those aren't items that they stop you for at customs?
Yeah, I'm curious how he got it on the ground. You know, I mean, you would think like.
Have you tried them yourself?
I have tried them myself. It's questionable.
But delectable?
Yeah, I would say somewhat delectable.
Would you mail it to your mom?
So
So you know, Mom, you're going to get some
Arctic moose bologna
from Connor himself.
Saber-tooth summer sausage.
I'm spicy.
Spicy.
I'm going to try that promo code.
Yeah, but I mean, you could get it for free. Right. Kind of wait for the thaw.
He brought some down with him.
He might have brought them down. He might be.
He's going to bring some into the studio. Usually the sponsors like to bring in product from the studio to the studio for us to try. I'll have to get our hands on that.
Hopefully Border Patrol didn't use it. We'll see when he comes in.
All right, let's move on. Arctic cat selling. What do you think about that? Did they just go the way of Old Yeller, the wind? Did somebody buy them?
I definitely think someone should buy them because I ride an Arctic cat and I love Arctic cat sleds.
I like the colors, but I'm not so sure I like how they ride. I've seen too many monorails break. So I've heard rumors of two major buyers. One called Argo. Heard that a lot of their employees came from Arctic Cat, bring a lot of their talent over there. Their CEO spent time on the board at Arctic Cat, and apparently he's increased their numbers over there.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll get they just need to save the brand. We don't want.
They're not far from there.
Yamaha already said they're done making sleds. I feel like we just need.
Some people joke that Yamaha could be the buyer.
We could need to have there's enough variation in all of them that someone can find something they enjoy. It doesn't look like a frog with a giant chew in their mouth.
Also seen, people talking about that even if they do get bought, that they may not go back into snowmobiles.
That would be.
So if they get bought by one of these competitors that isn't in snowmobiles, you could just let that side go. Arctic Cat does make the thing, quads.
Does that mean they need to change that again? Arctic?
It does seem counterproductive, doesn't it?
It does seem counterproductive if they kept the name, but
they might just absorb them. If somebody like CF Moto was to buy them, they're definitely going to run an Arctic Cat line underneath that.
Yeah, we'll have to. Time will tell. Time will tell. We'll have to keep a close eye on that. See what they're bringing, because I would be heartbroken.
They'd have to really step their game up to keep up with competitors like Skidoo and Polaris. I just feel like they're light years behind right now.
Yeah, they're having a rough go at it. It's but hopefully they can figure it out and keep the competition alive.
I'm not a brand loyalist,
Yeah,
anymore.
exactly.
Like, what has this brand, snowmobile or even your vehicle, like my truck, what has that brand done to keep me loyal? Do I get a rebate?
Right.
Do I get an award? There's nothing there to keep loyalty. So why would I? Mm-hmm. I want the best product for the market, whether it's Skidoo, Polaris, or Cat making it. Whichever one is the top of the line is what I want to ride.
Yeah, or just what you enjoy, the look of. Because I enjoy
my 1986 Jag, but by the end of the day, my back's not going to enjoy it. Well, that's because you're old. I am old, but so is that snowmobile, and so is its suspension. Oh, there's just nothing compared to vintage sleds. Yeah, the ergonomics of these new sleds, and they look cool. But it's not bad a vintage sled that costs you $200 that you can rip through the field on.
And not to mention, old sleds are definitely fun just because it doesn't cost. I don't have to go out and basically buy a car to go play on the stuff and go pick up a $500 sled and have a ball.
I mean, if you know what you're doing, you gotta have a little bit of tinkering experience. Yeah.
I don't.
Just enough to be dangerous.
Just enough to be dangerous.
Fuel, air, and spark. That's all you need. The track can be questionable.
Track can be questionable. You don't even need a seat.
Definitely don't need a seat.
Don't need a seat.
You don't need brakes. You've proven that.
Yep, that's true. Especially trying to go down the mountain.
One of the things we want to do here on the podcast is bring to you live reporting from races and other events in the snowmobile community, power sport community all around. So let's go live to our coverage. Buck?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Buck Thunderstone, and I'm reporting to you live from Snowmobile Country on behalf of the Free to Ride podcast. Today, we had scheduled an epic race between Sasquatch and Yeti, but unfortunately, due to some very unfortunate circumstances regarding Yeti and crossing the Canadian border, he was detained. All we know is that there was some yellow snow cones, pine cones, and baby powder. But in lieu of all the situation, we're going to go ahead and interview Sasquatch. That's right, people. We are live here with the undisputed hide and seek champion of the woods, Sasquatch. Sasquatch, how you doing, man? I thought you were right there, then you just disappeared. So, what have you been doing this past couple months getting ready for this? Lifting, okay. Don't worry, folks. I understand what he's saying. I am a professional in this. I do speak fluent Sasquatch, okay? All right, well, let's go. Let's enough about you. Let's go over this sled here. This beautiful piece of machine. What do we got going on here? You got a good throttle, good handlebars. What kind of handlebars are these? Did you get these factory? Are they factory or did you make these out of wood? No, factory? Yeah. Okay, you like to keep it real? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay, well, let's pop the hood. Let's see what you got going on here. What do we got here? What kind of engine is that? What kind of Suzuki? Oh, does it have a turbo or anything like that? Let these folks know what they got. What are you running? No turbo? No, nothing. Is it squirrels in there? Squirrel powered. Yeah, that's the best kind of stuff. All right, Sasquatch, you're the underdog in this race. However, I have to ask you this big, huge question that I'm sure people want to know. Your nickname, Bigfoot. But yet you're on dirt all the time, so where'd you get that name Bigfoot? Last I saw was Yeti. He has to walk on snow, and he has bigger feet. Hey, I know, but it's not my fault. Hey, calm down. Can't do this with this guy. Can't work with him. Why do we want to keep working with this guy? I hope he gets butt kicked in this race. This is ridiculous. What are you doing now? Seriously? Holy crap.
We have a guest with us today in the studio. He's been running the soundboard all afternoon.
You gotta fix your face.
So after the interview with Buck, he brought Sasquatch back with him because apparently Sasquatch was kicked out of his hotel room and has nowhere to stay. So he's now staying here with us in the studio and standing in front of the light, winding me out.
It has been an experience to have such a legendary cryptid stay with us.
The worst part is that without Buck here in studio with us, I have no idea what he's saying. He's eating the fridge out. There's nothing left. The bed's broken.
And he's wearing my sweatpants.
Those are his sweatpants now.
So how long is he staying here exactly?
In the studio, just until the race. And with Yeti on his way, after being detained at the border, should have a pretty good race here.
Are we sure? Did Yeti get released?
Yeti got released.
Yeti finally got released. So when do you think we're going to have the actual race for Yeti and Sasquatch?
The date still to be determined. While Yeti made it across the border, he's still waiting to get the sled.
So he was right. Okay, so now we're waiting. Just waiting
So
to clear.
the rider's here, but his equipment is not. That was a great interview with Buck.
It was a great interview with Buck. I sure hope he's all right.
He really brings us the best coverage when it comes to snowmobiles and live racing.
I kind of like his name.
He has to deal with
stuff.
He has to deal with the absolute worst interviewees.
He's not as well spoken as Yeti. Definitely not as well spoken as Yeti.
I'd like to introduce a segment that we're going to do frequently on the podcast. Would you like to introduce it, Connor?
Are we talking about our ugly sled competition?
We're going to haze your snowmobile. Connor, first up, submitted by Drew Emery, is this glorious Polaris 700. I think that paint job is fresh.
I think that paint job was fresh in the 60s.
It's not that old of a
I know it's not.
snowmobile.
Okay, you know what? I'm sorry.
It looks like it lived through a sandstorm or two.
Yeah,
I bet it runs like a champ.
Do you think that headlight actually works?
The headlights never work.
No. But definitely, we definitely have some uglier submissions.
My eyes feel like I'm in the Upside Down in Stranger Things. Like the colors.
It looks like a picnic blanket. Like we're going out.
I can't tell. The color itself can't decide if it wants to be green or if it wants to be yellow. Undecided.
Oh, right. Okay, we're talking about the green and the yellowish looking color. I was trying to figure out how you thought green or yellow when it's green and purple. But
oh, see, yeah, exactly. One of the colors is purple.
But you can't tell I can't tell what it is.
At the end of the day,
like
I would still.
No, I want to know.
Wrap the heck out of this thing.
Oh, it's a sled. Of course we would. But I want to know on the front.
It's a phaser.
Is it a phaser?
It is a phaser. It was.
It was a phaser. But on the front, is that light bar on the front?
Only its mom knows that it's a phaser now.
Is it?
In this day and age, you never know the gender of your snowmobile. Is there a light bar
on the front? That looks like
a light bar? I think that's a tree bumper.
No, not the green thing, the other thing, like right at the nose. It looks like that could be
a bumper.
I think it'd be cooler if it was a light bar. The only modern thing on this. I am not done with this. Don't be changing the screen.
He does have modern running boards. Those handlebar risers are absolutely too high. Are you trying to compensate for something?
Like, is it? I mean, it's a smaller sled, so I mean, is this dude like 6 feet tall? I mean, those that's like a foot right there.
Handlebars?
The handlebars.
At least they match the sled.
At least they match. All
right, let's move on to the next one. This one is submitted by Rowdy Yates, and I have to say, I think it's my vote for winner.
It might be my vote too. Let's dive into it. The only thing modern on that sled are the stickers.
I think that increases its blue book value at least a little bit.
$5.
He's got more than $5 in vinyl on there.
That's true.
The seat foam is hanging out the ass. We're gonna have to add a beep there.
The seat foam is hanging out, and the seat itself.
In case your butt crack gets cold, you can just run it up between the wedge.
But I want to know how many rolls of duct tape it took to make.
I want to know why they stopped halfway.
Is
duct tape not on sale? It's a feature, not a flaw. You sit on the front, and the back part keeps your butt crack warm. I told you. Right up there.
He just credit cards a couple.
And dry, most likely. Unless it's waterlogged.
It's probably waterlogged.
I just love the rough patina. This sled just screams, I'll run longer than your hope.
Hey, you know what? I will give you credit though. At least if you fall off, it does have a kill.
That's the safest feature on all of these. I didn't think I saw one on the other two.
Yeah, that's the only. I mean, sled might fall apart, but at least when it falls apart, engine will stop.
That's the fastest sled of the group too.
I think.
So I think this is a. What do you think? Do you have a vote? What do you think, Connor? Your feelings on these three snowmobiles? Give them a first, second, and third places.
Well, Drew, I'm sorry. I think I have to give Drew third place. It was definitely looked the most modern. It had a rough theme from years. Not sure if the headlight worked, which is a big feature. And you got to be able to see at night. But it was still in pretty good shape.
I can agree with you there. So we're going to go probably with Rowdy Yates first place. You're still torn between that phaser?
That phaser looked like a picnic blanket. I felt like I need to get my little basket.
I almost said that picnic blanket.
Take the kid.
That snowmobile would have been picnic blankets, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but I still feel like I could lay that out at a picnic. No one would judge.
I would do.
You would. I know you would. We can't have a hung jury here.
All right, cast your vote.
All right. I will agree with this sled right here.
All right. So we're picking Rowdy Yates. It's beautiful. I don't even know what it is. Is it a Yamaha? Definitely giving prizes for this event. It's only once a month. Who wants a prize? The audience wants prizes. There's going to be prizes.
What is the prize?
Prizes.
Prize is.
One prize. Thank you for your submissions. We need a voting system. We can be like 1, 2, 3, and that each other's vote.
And then Sasquatch pops up as like an extra vote. So, Lance, I think it's time to get into the tech tip of the month.
Out of the month.
Okay. Lance, I think it's time to get into this show's
Do it. It's out of the day.
The week. The week.
Oh, is it the week? No. What are you even saying over there? So we're going to get, Lance, I think it's time to get into the tech tip of the week.
Let's do it.
Ever wondered how your snowmobile automatically adjusts power to the track? The secret lies in its continuously variable transmission, CVT, a system designed for smooth power delivery. Whether you're on the trails or deep in the backcountry, the CVT system has two key components: the primary clutch, which is driven by the engine, and the secondary clutch, which connects to the track drive system. Between them is the belt, which transfers power dynamically. At idle, the primary clutch remains open and the belt sits deep inside the primary sheaves while riding at its widest diameter on the secondary clutch. This is effectively your low gear for takeoff. As you give the throttle, the engine spins faster, causing the primary clutch sheaves to close. This squeezes the belt outward, increasing its diameter in the primary clutch. Meanwhile, the secondary clutch sheaves open, allowing the belt to sink deeper. At full throttle, the primary clutch is fully engaged, pushing the belt to its maximum diameter. The secondary clutch is now at its smallest effective diameter, achieving the highest gear ratio for top speed. This automatic shift happens seamlessly as you accelerate. A well-functioning CVT system keeps power delivery smooth and efficient, but over time, belt wear, improper alignment, or dirty clutch sheaves can reduce performance. Regular maintenance, like checking belt tension, cleaning clutch faces, and replacing worn belts, keeps your sled running strong. Understanding your CVT clutch system helps you ride more efficiently and maintain peak performance. Thanks for watching this week's Tech Tip. Stay tuned for more power sport knowledge.
Good break. All right. So what's our discussion?
Our group discussion? Well, normally at this time we'd be having a segment called Brian's Bedtime Stories, where somebody reads a bedtime story, Brian. But with Brian not being here with us, we're going to talk a story anyways. So I think it's a good time to talk about a story that we were both involved in, where we took a newbie, a new rider out to the snow, and they fell off a mountain. So I had this coworker, and we were all getting into snowmobiling. So he got two of his own, some older Arctic Cats, early 2000s, and we all met at the snow park. This was over at Pyramid Creek in Western Washington, and we got to riding that day. Did a lot of good riding on the mountain.
It was a good day. It was a nice bluebird day.
Yeah, well, if you've ever been to Pyramid Creek, you know the ride up, and really windy, and there's some straight shots right off the mountain.
Half the time there's not even snow on that road.
Yeah, it was pretty light this year, but we were coming down off the mountain, and our friend way ahead of us coming down the mountain, and I believe it was you that turned the corner first, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I turned the corner, and again, he was ahead of us to the point where it didn't matter how fast I was going. He was just never around the next corner.
Always the best for your new rider that's riding with you to be way ahead of the group.
Oh yeah,
nothing like sticking in between riders.
Had no
or anything.
cares in the world about
cruising,
going. Yeah, and I came around the corner, and there were another group
off on the side. And
That time I had caught up, literally sitting on the edge of the cliff, just looking down.
yeah,
And it just,
I
my
sat
heart
there.
sunk like, oh no.
I sat there with my feet dangling over the edge. It really wasn't a cliff. I mean, maybe in the summer you'd look at that and be like, "Ooh!" But with the winter,
With a vehicle, you would
it
not
was
survive.
winter was enough that it was more of it had a slight incline. I mean, it didn't look as bad as it does in the summer.
You couldn't ride it up. Even I don't even think a professional could have ridden that out of there.
It was definitely rough. And so, yeah, basically you came around the corner and there were some people there standing on the side and they're just like, "Hey, is this guy with you?" Like, looked around. Like, what do you mean?
What
What guy? And they said the one down there, and it was like, walked over to the edge and looked down and it was just like, see the yellow. It was
a mustard yellow art cat.
yeah, it was a mustard yellow.
Yeah.
And I looked down and it was down at the bottom, upside down. He was okay. He was okay. Don't worry, no one died.
Yes, he was okay.
No one died. No one was
Just
injured.
his pride was hurt.
Yeah. And I looked down and saw the sled and was just like, yeah. Now, granted, those riders then, instead of possibly assisting, were just like, cool, he's all right. It's like, all right. So
by this time, the rest of the group had caught up.
yeah, the rest of the group had caught up, and the rest of them went down to the snow park to retrieve.
Now, the initial plan was to leave it there. And I was
That's
like,
true.
We're not going to leave it there.
We were going to leave it there until the spring.
No, it was just till the next day or something.
Oh, was it oh, yeah. It was,
Yeah, we were going to come back up.
it was getting late.
And I was like,
getting
nope,
dark.
we're going to ride down to the snow park and we're going to get anything that we can tie together. We went down and got bungee cords,
Ropes,
ropes, anything.
Hose straps, pretty much everything that were in the truck. And everyone came back up, and we had, I think it was, we had a,
You had to heave it around a tree back as a pulley.
yeah,
We had the whole group, and we had about 6 people heaving on this thing. 2 other guys went down the hill to be with the rider in this upside down yellow snowmobile. And they worked it up the mountain slowly as we worked the line up at the top. And it just seemed like it took forever.
it did take forever. I do remember that it was like a 800 to do, like a freaking car. No, or like a. Kind of off.
Took it down.
No, right. They're kind of not ride it up, but to help pull it up.
We used the snowmobile to pull.
Yeah, it was.
I don't remember that. Yeah, it was like a early 2000s to do Summit 800.
Yeah, that's right. And we worked it up, and we recovered the sled at the side of a cliff.
I wasn't going to leave that thing down there. No way. Remember that trip? Probably not to let your newest rider ride ahead of the group.
That is true. And also, take the corner, especially if you don't know the riding area, take the corner slow. Because you could find yourself yeeting your sled up the side of a cliff.
Or hurting somebody.
Or hurting somebody, missing the corner, sneaking out somebody coming up the mountain.
All right. Well, that brings us to the end of our topics for today on the Free to Ride podcast. I'm your host, Lance Crawford.
The co-host,
All right. And next time we'll have Brian with us. Thank you all for joining tonight.
if he doesn't call out.